Thank you for doing this with me.
Of course.
So this is going to be kind of the same session that we did I guess it was last week, but with a different tool. So this tool is called a value survey. So there's two different lists that we're going to do. One is intrinsic, one is demonstrable. The intrinsic are basically core values that you want to focus on, and demonstrable values are the ones that are the more logical ones, I guess.
So intrinsic is like thoughts, maybe?
Yeah,
Like
more
internal.
like your morals, I guess, kind of.
Okay.
Then the demonstrable ones are basically the ones that can get you to your core values. Like, for example, core values of being honest. That's a core value or intrinsic value. And the other demonstrable one, an example of that would be like being joyful or cheerful or.
Maybe more behavioral.
There you go. That's a perfect word. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. So, yeah, that's a perfect word for that. So, I'm going to give you these two lists. We've already done our relaxing breaths and everything, so we're all ready to go. So I'm going to give you these two lists, and you're just going to take a couple minutes and decide which list stands out to you, which one you kind of want to focus on. And there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever stands out to you.
I want to do this one, demonstrable.
Okay. So now you're going to look at all of these different values, and you're going to pick 5. So you can put a check mark. There's no, you don't have to number which one is you greater.
5 that I like.
5 that you most want to focus on, that are most important to you right now in this moment. So everything is about right now. So we can focus on how you're doing right now. Presently, yes. And then once you're done with the 5, then we will together figure out which one weighs more, in your opinion.
I was laughing because I had to do clean.
When I was writing it down, I knew you were going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of ask you any questions. If at any point throughout the session I ask you something that you don't want to talk about, if you want me to answer more questions or you have any questions, just ask. This is all about you. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to focus on. I'm just here to guide you.
Got it.
Okay. So, what does ambitious mean to you?
I think that ambition, or an ambitious person, is someone that's goal-oriented, results-oriented, and kind of knows what they want. Kind of like what the end result, what they want for an end result, not necessarily what the end result is, but they can focus on a desired goal, and maybe they don't know how to get there, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it completely. Okay, so what does clean mean for you?
This is actually something that I struggle with in life. It's something that's the reason why I checked it. Living with OCD, I think that at times cleanliness and tidiness and things like that can be kind of a crutch for me. But at other times, it helps me organize my life so that I can do the things that I want to do, if that makes sense. But there's times where if things aren't
kind of helps your brain a little bit.
Yeah, it's like just the way I'm wired. Like I can't relax for the evening until the house is cleaned and tidied up, But I don't know. It's weird because it can be a real big strength and it can be a real big weakness for me at the same time, So
I think for you, just because I know you, it is kind of a big strength and a weakness. It's a strength for us as a family that you like that, but sometimes you can tell it does.
Yeah, I struggle. The OCD part really really gets me.
Yeah. Well, we can come back to talking about that more. Honest. What does that mean for you?
Honesty is everything to me. And I think integrity is the most important value that anybody can have in their lives. And as we've talked about many times before with our children, it's doing the right thing when no one is watching, when no one's around. That's what I think about when I think of that.
Okay. Imaginative. What does that mean to you?
I feel like imaginative is someone that's fearless and creative and artistic, and they're just a thinker, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Dreamer.
I would have never put fearless with imaginative, but that's true. You have to,
You don't care what people think.
yeah, to be able to show your creativity for sure. Intellectual.
As you know, education and intellect is one of the foundational elements of my life, and for me, having the opportunity to educate myself, whether through school or through my own reading and study and things like that, I think that that's the greatest way to expand your mind and to kind of broaden your horizons and allow yourself to kind of just think outside the box and come up with your own opinions and beliefs and truths and
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have those 5, we are going to see which one is the most important to you
out of those 5.
out of those 5. At the end, we don't have to talk about the one that's most important. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but this is a way to see kind of, maybe you don't even know which one, but
what stands out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we can do it 2 different ways. We can do it where you close your eyes and kind of picture one is in one hand and one is in the other, and then kind of weigh it out. We could just talk about it. It's however you want to do it.
I would rather talk through stuff.
Okay, yeah. So let's say we're doing ambitious and being clean. Which one is more important to you?
I don't know. I think ambition is probably more important, but I think that I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but I think my brain is wired that if things aren't the way that they're supposed to be or whatever, that it causes such a great deal of anxiety for me that is one of the most important elements of my life. But but I'm gonna try and not talk about that. So I'm gonna say ambition.
We don't have to try and not talk about it if that's something that you're
I know, but
actually.
Cleanliness is important. Yes, it's more important
See,
than
more important.
ambition.
Okay. Okay. Cleanliness and being honest.
Nothing's more important to me than honesty and integrity.
Okay. Sorry, that's wrong. But we could do that. So I should have went to ambition and honest. Oh, I did do that. Ambition and honest? Or did I do cleanliness and honest?
You said cleanliness and honesty, but honesty is more important to
Okay.
me than ambition is as well.
Okay, thank you. Ambition and imagination. Being creative.
Ambition is probably more important than imaginative. Imaginative, but
Yeah, I'm just switching to imagination. Ambition and intellectuality.
Intellect is more important.
Okay. Okay, so clean and honest, we already said was honest. Clean and imagination.
Cleanliness, yeah.
Clean and intellection.
Intellect.
Okay, now we have honesty and imagination.
Honesty.
Honesty and intellect.
Honesty.
Imagination and intellect.
I feel like those two go so hand in hand with one another. I would say intellect.
Okay, already put that one there. Okay, so we have one for ambition. 1, 2. 2 for cleanliness. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for honesty. And then 3 for intellect. So your highest scoring one was honesty. Does that surprise you? No, it doesn't surprise me either. So, is that something that you want to focus on?
I don't think so. Being the logical person that I am, black and white, you're either a person of integrity or you're not.
Yeah.
I think that that's cut and dry for me. I don't
Yeah.
think that that's something that I need to delve deeper in myself about at all. But it's definitely, I think I said it when we were talking about it, it's the most important, it's a foundational element of my life. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, I'm very proud of you that you're so aware of yourself, because a lot of people are not like that. So which one would you like to talk about?
I know which one I don't want to talk about, but
Would that
maybe
be-
that means that we should
should
talk
talk about
about. Let's talk about cleanliness.
Okay. Do you maybe want to switch cleanliness to organize? Because I feel like that's kind of what it is.
I mean, if that's allowable, sure.
It's up to you. This is all you,
the
man.
same, it goes hand in hand. It's cleaning and organization and patterns and
So, I mean, we know that the part of the organization that you like is it organizes your life and you feel more comfortable and
in control.
in control. But is there a reason why you feel like you need to be in control?
No, I don't know. I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to do, but I grew up in a house with two people that were very ordered and structured and disciplined, and it's just something that I always took to, and I think that it just helped ease my mind in times of stress and in times of grief and things like that, because I could always go back to controlling these aspects of my life when I wasn't controlling all this chaos that was going on. And then at 18 years old, joining the military, that's what it is. It's order and discipline and organization and structure. And I mean, now 20 years later, that's how I'm wired. And I'm a creature of habit. I do things the same way every single time. I write everything down. I plan out all my days. I'm very rigid in that portion of my life, even down to cleaning our house and whatever. And it's
So
like
what part of it? I mean, in that aspect, it kind of sounds like that all of that is positive, which is great. But what part of the I guess your OCD part, what part is that you would like to talk about? That's
I mean, I didn't want to talk about it, but it kind of stuck out. But
you don't have to talk about it if you don't want
no, it's fine. I think that I really struggle with anxiety, and seeing things in disarray is is something that it really makes me anxious, and I think it's really difficult to explain to somebody that doesn't have the disease. But you know, I have a hard time not seeing things structured in my life, you know, and
I think it's good that you acknowledge that it's a disease and it's not something that like you can help.
no, it's not.
A lot of people think that
it's not something that I can help.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been being treated for this for 10 years now, but you know, it it's something that I'm definitely aware of, and it's something that I'm not proud of, and it is something that I am proud of at the same time. You know,
what's the part that you're not like? What? Give me an example of the parts that you're not proud of. Maybe we could work on something there.
well, if I come home, I mean, I think you know this, but we can say it for what's going on here. But if I come home and things are chaotic, or they're not the way that I had them when I left, or how I had expect them when I come home, it's like wires crisscross in my brain, and it I literally can't feel like I can speak. I can't think. I need things the way that they're supposed to be. If I come home, you know, we go out to lunch or something and we leave the house and I come home and everything's not the way it is when I like, you know, the way that I like it, then it makes me feel dirty. It makes me feel unclean. It makes me feel like we're not doing, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, I get
you
it.
know, like
You just feel off.
I'm off, and I can't. I literally feel like I'm suffocating.
Okay. So, I mean, I know it's really hard to change that aspect, but is there something that maybe we could do? Like, is there a way that you could see yourself? I mean, for example, you kind of, when you do feel like that, you get quiet and a little irritated, you can tell.
Very irritable, and not even a little irritable.
Yeah.
I get irritable.
Yeah. And this is only because I know you struggle with asking for help too, which I think could help a lot in those aspects, but you don't ask for help.
I don't ask for help, and you know, I think that boils down to it's another OCD behavior. It's the kids or you might do it and complete it, and that's a huge help. But if it's not done, the way that I want to do it, now it's just added a whole other thing that I have to do because I want to fix it, you know. And you know, I definitely want to be able to let that go and be grateful and show appreciation for that stuff, which I think that I do.
I think you're getting better.
I'm better at that, but I'm terrible at asking for help because I want to do things for other people. I think that's one of the ways that I show people that I love them is through acts of service, and I think that I don't know, it's kind of become a self-licking ice cream cone, if that makes sense. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this for Cecily, or I'm gonna do this for the kids because it's nice, and then what happens after doing it for a long time or a longer period of time, then that's the expectation that Dad's gonna do it, or that Levi's gonna take care of it. You know what I mean? And then I start feeling underappreciated, which then makes me feel even more irritable. But it doesn't stop me from doing it,
So
and
you
it
just
eventually,
keep doing it.
eventually gets to a point where it comes to a breaking point, and then I either say something I don't mean or don't want to say, or when it all could have been alleviated if I was just like, hey, do you think you could help out with this today or whatever? You know?
So for the sake of this, is there a way that you and I think this is great, not just for this thing, but is there a way that we can get to a place where you ask for help, or I just know that you need help instead of you asking?
You know,
Do you think it's the act of asking?
I don't think it's that. You know, I honestly, um, um, I honestly think that we're at a place where you recognize that I need help. It's that even when you offer it, I'm like, no, I got it. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like I'm refusing it. You know, and I don't
When
know.
you know that you actually do want it.
Yeah, where that would help. But there's other times, to be quite honest with you, that I get this built up energy within me, and it's like I would rather burn off all that energy by doing all of these things
Yeah.
because it makes me feel better as well. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
so sometimes it's not me refuting
And I know
the
how
help.
you feel because you can see it when you're done doing something. You're like, okay, now I can relax.
Yeah,
Or
and
like there's a sense of relief.
so it could be, you know, after stressful days at work or whatever, that's just my way to burn off that excess stress, and that's my outlet. It's just, you know, I come across as brooding or upset or angry, and I'm really not 95% of the time. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get things done.
Yeah.
And you obviously know that I work at 100 miles an hour at everything that I do. So
Yeah.
so I can come across as being short, staccato, whatever you want to say, but I really don't. I don't have any intentions or anything like that, you know. So
Well, so like I said, for the sake of this, is there something that we could come up with? Maybe like a code word like we used to come up with when we maybe got in a fight or something.
yeah,
Like maybe we could
like
say,
it just ends it, pauses it, does whatever. I
or
mean,
just asking for help. Like, hey man, I need
Hey,
this.
man.
Hey man.
I think
like-
maybe, you know, if you know I'm not asking for help and you see that I'm struggling, and
Maybe I could just tell you to pause.
Yeah, or just say, you know what, just go sit down or whatever. I don't know how I would receive
I
that,
don't
to be
think that
quite
you
honest.
would take. You wouldn't.
I mean, I don't really sit down.
I feel like maybe we could seriously have like a code word, and it would be like
Just a weird code word that's out of context.
yeah, and you
something.
could just be like, okay, yeah, she's right. I do want help. I'm just not
I
asking
need to
for
take a
it.
step back. Yeah, well, we could definitely do that. That worked in the past for arguments
Yeah,
and
totally works.
digressing arguments.
What was it? Rainbow?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
rainbow.
That was a good one. Well, look.
Shit, why don't we just use that word?
Okay. No, we need to use a new one.
Blimp.
Okay.
I don't know. It has to be something off the cuff.
Okay, if you want to say blimp,
'Cause I
I'm not
don't use-
going to remember blimp.
What do you
Blimpy,
get?
I might remember.
Blimpy sub sandwiches?
Yeah.
Okay, you pick the word.
If you want to do blimpy.
I didn't. I'll left.
Well, that might be a good thing.
Okay, we'll do blimpy.
Okay. It might be a good
That makes
thing
me
if
think
you.
of limpy. When you're,
My
yeah,
dad.
that's to hit me with his finger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that might be good.
Okay.
If you're coming home and I feel like you're super stressed out and you look like you're pissed off, I could
bro,
be like,
blimpy.
blimpy, and then you'll laugh, and then you'd be like, okay, I'll take
That's
a
good.
step back.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, code word.
Good word.
Code word
High
blimpy.
Cool.